A reading from the letter of Paul to the Romans. Brothers and sisters, you know the time. It is the hour now for you to awake from sleep, for our salvation is nearer now than when we first believed. The night is advanced, the day is at hand. Let us then throw off the works of darkness and put on the armor of light. Let us conduct ourselves properly as in the day, not in orgies and drunkenness, not in promiscuity and lust, not in rivalry and jealousy, but put on the Lord Jesus Christ and make no provision for the desires of the flesh. The word of the Lord.
Our second reading on this first Sunday of Advent is taken from the letter of St. Paul to the Romans. We have been reflecting on the God who comes to us. That's the spirit of Advent. That's why there is an Advent. God comes to us. In the first reading from Isaiah, God comes to dwell with His people in the holy mountain of Zion, in the city of Jerusalem. But God comes as a teacher. God comes with His word. God comes with peace, with reconciliation. God comes with light. And Isaiah has a vision that nations will welcome God. They will even stream to the place where God is to learn from God and hopefully to walk in His light. And we hope during this Advent season we will welcome God and learn from Him, listen to Him, and walk in His light. It is basically the same message of St. Paul in the second reading. The images that St. Paul uses add something, a new insight, a new significance to the God who comes. He uses first the hour of salvation. The time of salvation is near. So when God comes, it is like the coming of a time, a moment that people have been waiting for, and it is a moment of salvation. Another image that St. Paul uses is that of light. When God comes, God brings daytime. God dispels darkness and brings us light. An image used also by Isaiah. Who will not welcome the God who brings salvation? Who will not welcome the God who is light? But then St. Paul also quite realistically reminds the Romans, as he reminds us, even if God comes with salvation and with light, we might ignore God. So how do we welcome God who comes with salvation and light? First, ward off deeds of darkness. The one who comes is the light. So, do not obey the dictates of the flesh, the dictates that lead us to darkness and death. And he gives some examples here. Excesses, carousing, drunkenness, sexual excess, lust, quarreling, jealousy. All of these lead us to darkness. Well, let us not be dictated upon by the flesh, leading us to darkness. Let us not welcome darkness. Let us welcome God who brings light. And, of course, the fundamental way to welcome Jesus is by putting on Jesus Himself. Put on Jesus. Put on His mind. put on His attitudes, put on His value system. It is the best way of welcoming Jesus, already anticipating His coming by putting Him as our clothing, interior clothing, so that by the change, the transformation of our minds and our hearts, wow, we welcome Him already in our lives. It is not just an exterior welcome, but an interior one. I welcome Jesus in my life by putting on His mind and His heart.